I had some wonky settings on my chat so that there was no option for people to actually chat. So forgive me for that. I decided to shut that live down and restart. I can't quite remember everything that I was discussing, to be honest with you, but basically the point of today's Wellness Wednesday is I have to practice patience in this experience. I am in a season where I am measuring things more intentionally, but not with the mindset that I have to go in and micro manage my numbers. What things am I testing? I am testing my blood glucose. I am testing my my ketones, my blood ketones. Hello, Cindy, and the sun is starting to like come through a rather lovely cloud, so it's getting brighter and less diffused. So as I proceed, I won't be able to see you as well, and I think children are interjecting. I'm not sure what's happening. I won't be able to see you as well, and my eyes will get smaller and smaller for squinting so hard because it's too bright. It was so perfect earlier, and here we are now. It is way less friendly to my eye squinting. So, okay. So I was talking about practicing patience, and the whole point behind all of this is I want to have information right now. I want to have all the information right now, and I want to be able to draw conclusions on that information right now and have them be the correct, perfect conclusions so that I can make adjustments, so that I can get better numbers, or I can feel better, or I can do better, or I can be better. Any of those things. And I am in the data collection mode. I'm not really weighing in very often. I just said on my previous live, I'm maybe weighing in once every 10-ish days if I think about it. And it's just not really a priority for me right now. I am, however, taking my blood glucose and my blood ketone measurements every single morning right after I get up. And that's great. And I'm also lining and syncing that up with my my hormonal cycle, and I count a cycle as start of a period all the way around to the end of that entire month until the next period starts. So I'm keeping track of where my numbers are and where my cycle is, because I do fully believe that my female hormones modify how my body handles things like glucose and ketones throughout the month. I was getting some amazing numbers a couple weeks ago. Maybe it wasn't even 2 weeks ago. Maybe it was like 10 days ago or so. And I was just flabbergasted at how amazing it was. And then as soon as I hit a different part of my cycle, I drop off. I have like the ketone tank is looking pretty slim. So I want to have all of the data. I want to have it all make sense. And I want to be able to do action steps to modify those things right here and right now. And that's not reality, because I have to wait 24 hours for my data to make sense to me. I need to wait 24 hours between testing so that I can have like at least one constant in this process. You know, my day of my cycle is going to obviously be different, which means my hormones are constantly shifting, but then I also will not eat identically every single day. Like I will not eat the exact same foods in the exact same volumes at the exact same times every day. The only thing that I can keep constant is testing my ketones and my glucose every morning at approximately 6:03 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time, because we're in daylight time right now, I believe. Standard time doesn't happen until November. So all of that to say, I just, I hate having to be patient. I really, really want to be able to make specific changes based on what I did the day before, and everything is retroactive. So I have noticed over the past couple of days that in the evening times, I feel extremely hungry. So I have a fatty coffee with my coconut oil and butter, and like I'm down to 1 drop of stevia, which is exciting. And that's great to know. I see this trend happening. So what does that mean? But also when I wake up in the morning, my ketone numbers are pretty sketchy. I think that the highest that they're going right now is 0.7. And I'm like, I'm not having protein late into the night. I'm not having carbs into the night. I'm having the pure fats of the coconut oil and the butter and obviously coffee, but maybe I need to shift it over to herbal tea and follow Amy's example with using honey vanilla chamomile. Or I have a couple of other herbal teas that I could put in there. Anyway, but the point being that I should change things up again, but I don't really have enough data points to make that a valid option at this point. I don't know. I'm struggling with a lot of thoughts right now because of the stinking sun. I love the sun. Don't get me wrong. I love the sun. But whenever I'm trying to be able to see things and focus on things, it makes it difficult whenever I'm squinting so hard. There were also a whole handful of days where I was eating my majority of my protein right in the middle of the day, right in the middle of my eating window, and then just fat for the remainder of the day. And that was great. I felt like my numbers were great, but also my cycle was at a different place. And I think that helped my numbers to be so great. And then I started eating a little bit later into the day with my family for, our main meal. And that's usually like around 6 p.m., give or take. And participating in family dinner, it's a lot heavier on the protein. I can modify it to a certain degree, but I just haven't had the desire to do that. And I've noticed that also I tend to be a little bit hungrier then because I've had more protein, and that kind of ramps up that ghrelin, I feel like, and I can't find the leptin, the satiating, like the I'm satisfied hormone. I want to have all of the information right now so that I can make action steps right now and plan it all out. But then also, I don't want to have any of that because I don't want to be so micromanaged with myself that I'm like, okay, I must do all of these things in this order every single time or else. Because to be honest with you, that's not a life I want to live. I'd much rather live in the unknown and kind of fly by the seat of my pants. But I also want to have the good numbers because I want to have the good benefit to my biochemistry. And it's just like, I want it all. That's what I want. I want to be able to eat freely when I feel like it, how I feel like it in that moment without having to worry about the numbers and have the numbers also do the right things, which clearly that's not going to be an option at this point in the game. I don't know. I feel like I'm just rambling and I have missed some comments, so I would love to come back. Okay, so Cindy, you mentioned that you're in the middle of your 30-day BBBE challenge, and whoa, you are down 5.8 pounds. That is amazing. High five. A high five to the faces. So that's amazing. And then Neely popped in. We've got Amy here. Cindy mentions you don't drink coffee or tea. Your vice is Diet Pepsi. But you haven't had any of that since starting BBBE. And you've lost 101 pounds since starting keto September 27th, 2020. That's phenomenal. That is amazing. Congratulations. That's some awesome work right there. I have kind of ebbed and flowed with my weight throughout my entire experience. My body composition has gotten way better. Even though I am only down about a total of 20 pounds since I first started intentionally losing weight. So I haven't really I lost more than 20 pounds, and then I kind of came back up when I was pregnant, and then I came back down, and then I came back up and then down and up and down. It's never been a constant for me. And as long as my clothes fit me properly, that's what I care about. And, as long as my body composition is the way that I kind of want it. And I tend to be more barrel chested. I've got broad shoulders. I'm not very tall. I do not have any hips. And all the weight gets carried between my belly button and my shoulders. So as long as that part feels like it's not like busting out of shirts, I feel pretty solid. I can't really use pants as a litmus test for whether or not my weight is going up or down because my hips never grow. So there's that. But being patient in the data is kind of just really where my brain has been. My husband will say, here, taste test this, or try that out. Or he and I, we do enjoy watching TV and having snacks in the evening. But for the past probably for the past 2+ weeks, I have gone through and not had the evening snacks and just done the fatty coffees. But whenever he says, oh, I really want you to taste this thing, I mean, it's only happened maybe twice. I taste the thing and then I think in my brain, that's really going to jack up my numbers in the morning. And now I'm going to have to like scrap tomorrow's numbers and just be patient for the next time because that's what that is. But I don't know. I'm keeping notes and I'm trying to be patient and I'm trying to not make major adjustments right now that I think will change things because I don't know what they're going to do. I don't know what the data is going to show in the next day or in the next 5 days. I just don't know. I just don't know much of anything. I'm in data collection mode and that's about the only place that I can be right now. It's just, I want changes, but I don't know why, and I don't know what, and I don't know how, and I don't know where, and I feel like Ariel, I do know that staying this way is the right way, but Cindy, I love the fact that you are sharing your story right now. You're 64 off the blood pressure meds. That's amazing. You reversed your pre-diabetes and the lymphedema is in control. That's huge. That's awesome. Air high five again. Wow. See, and I have no desire to eat sugar, none right now in my life. Like birthday cake, no. Donuts, no. Nothing. I do indulge in more of the low carb treats whenever I feel that indulgent mood. And I know in one of my last videos, was it last Wednesday's video? I had talked about indulgences and I had a commenter talk about, like sugar stuff. And I'm like, that's not really where my head is at. I look at sugar and I view it as poison. I took the girls to a birthday party a few days ago and there was birthday cake left over. The host said, we don't want to take this home. And he started offering it around to everybody. And I was like, ew, sugar, no, we don't have, no, it's a no for me, dog. I don't have the struggles with sugar that I once did. And I don't know if that's a testament to having been on this way of life for so long, or if it's just, I don't know. I don't know what it is, but I just don't have any desires to do that. I do, however, have all the desires to recreate all the things in a keto way and feel rock solid about that. But then that takes effort. And half the time I don't have the effort. And then whenever I do make them, I overindulge in them. So it's just an ebb and flow. It's great. It's great. I don't really have much more to talk about. I just, having to be patient is hard. And having to wait and see is hard. And not being able to like just make solid changes right now can be hard. But I'm just going to keep plodding along. And just because it's hard doesn't mean it's not worthwhile and doesn't mean that I should not do it. I have another order of more ketone strips coming, so that's exciting. I don't know. We just keep moving along, right? We just keep doing one day after the next, after the next, after the next. And I want to make changes that are sustainable, which is why I mentioned doing more of an afternoon, evening eating window, possibly. I did not reduce my eating window today. I made some breakfast for everybody, and then I realized, I actually am hungry. And guess what? As a grown-up, I'm allowed to say, I think I'm gonna eat food. So I went ahead and ate breakfast this morning at a breakfast hour as opposed to like a lunch hour. And it wasn't just like a high-fat coffee. It was like actual food. I don't know. I really don't know. Practicing patience can be hard. But I do feel like having the data without trying to manipulate the data can be valuable. And I think that's kind of the mentality that I'm trying to cling to at this point, that I don't need to try to alter the data in the midst of just collecting it. I don't know. There's so many different things. I'm sorry, the barn swallows are here now, so they're very exciting to watch. Okay. Julia, a quote from a movie: when we ask God or when we ask for patience, God gives us opportunities to learn patience. That's absolutely true. I can remember thinking that way, especially when my children were still in the diapers and the things, and just like practicing patience, like, okay, someday I will have the ability to wait out this evening or this night or this next day, or wait out the number of times that I take them to the potty, or any of those things. And patience, yeah, it is a virtue that must be learned, but it is not easy. You know, the barn swallows, they were gone for a little while and now they're back. I'm wondering where they went. They had been gone for like, I don't know, about 2 to 3 weeks. Normally in the mornings they give us like this fantastic aerial show, and now they're back. They were gone for a couple weeks. I don't know what they did, but they're back in full force. Okay, now I'm just rambling. I don't really have a whole lot more to add. Jennifer, are you going to post any ice cream recipes using the Ninja Creamy? I do need to go through and start playing around with some more variety of recipes. Back in, was it Christmas? That's when I gave that to my husband. So I gave my husband the creamy for Christmas, and I also bought a bunch of Keto Chow flavors for him to try out. I don't personally drink Keto Chow or use their Keto Chow flavored packets as a base for the Ninja Creamy. I just don't find that I do well with the sucralose, so I just steer clear from those. And my husband has, I think, an apple pie one going right now, and I think I have one empty creamy container, so I can definitely play around with some more of those. I know I wanted to do more fruit flavors, but I never really got around to that. I have some strawberry extract that's like a natural extract. I might try to do that. I don't have any raw strawberry, like fresh strawberries though. I would love to do a cookies and cream one. I've done that using the chocolate cereal as a mix-in, the chocolate cereal from Perfect Keto, and that was pretty fantastic. I want to try doing like a peanut butter and chocolate swirl through, kind of, not moose tracks, and but you know, like that type of flavor profile. I don't know. I need to do one on that Brianna Thomas basic ice cream that I modified. So I do have a few things on my list, and then I also have gone through and written a lot of things down and then failed to compile them into one location. And so I have misplaced those. I've had to go back through my comments and try to write down all the different requests that I've gotten. It has been a bit of a frustration point for me, to be sure. I know I want to make Texas torpedoes for y'all. I know I want to do that basic ice cream. I had a request to share like how I make protein milk, which is not something I'm doing anymore just because of the whey protein and how particle size matters. And that particle size is no good for your glucose and insulin and all that stuff, even though we can't technically test for insulin. And there were other videos that I wanted to go through and make that I had written down that were like requests, and I'm kicking myself because I struggle to find them all. And there's never enough time in the day. And also there's never enough people to eat all the food that I produce in all these videos. Like if it's dinner I'm already making, it's perfect. Like Texas torpedoes will be perfect to film as a recipe because my husband and I can totally house an entire batch of those for dinner and be very happy with our lives. And I can also do those with sweet peppers for the girls so that they don't feel like their mouths are on fire. The other things, like at some point I have to sort of pump the brakes because I don't have either enough people to eat the food before it goes bad or enough freezer space to hold on to the food that is frozen or that I freeze so that we can come back around to it. So just kind of it's a slow process. Plus we're in the middle of week 5 of homeschooling right now. And we do a lot of things in our homeschool. We have a lot of variety in our day. And my mornings are completely devoted to the homeschooling things. A few chores here and there, but mostly homeschool things. And by the time the afternoon rolls around, I'm like, okay, wait a minute. What am I supposed to be doing? What did I want to do? I knew I wanted to do something, but what is the thing? Because I'm too busy like singing the Greek alphabet in my head or going over what the next like lessons are supposed to be for the next day, kind of a thing. I don't know. So yeah, I definitely would like to put out more creamy recipes, and maybe also show those creamy bases in my Dash Mini My Pint ice cream maker, because they actually work out pretty nicely in that little machine too, and that is way more affordable than the Ninja Creamy, and it takes up next to no space. And yeah, it's a good little machine. It's not ideal if you wanted to make like a whole variety of different things, but it actually works out pretty well. So, all right, y'all. I've blathered on for 21 minutes. Has anything made sense? Has anything been valuable? I don't know. Talking has been valuable for me because I'm talking about stuff that's not necessarily, like I said, Greek or going through geography or talking about, histograms and frequency tables and other fun math things that we have been doing today. So I'm going to take a sip of my drink and I'm going to count to 12 in my brain, and then I'm going to tell you bye. Cindy, you say it's all good. Sometimes we just need to talk. That is true. That is so true. All right. Thank you so much for being here. Sorry I had to do a do-over. I'm sure it didn't make much sense, but I hope you enjoyed going along on all the rabbit trails my brain does. And I hope to see you in my next video.